Everyone keeps telling you that California is just Hollywood, sunshine, and overpriced avocado toast. Let me stop you right there, because that version of California, the one on the postcards, the one in the movies, that is maybe 5% of what this state actually is. California is the most geographically, culturally, and gastronomically diverse place in the entire United States. And I would argue it is one of the most diverse places on the entire planet. You can stand in an ancient redwood forest in the morning, drive through a vineyard at lunch, eat the best taco of your life in the afternoon, and fall asleep to the sound of the Pacific Ocean at night. All in the same day, in the same state. That is California. And most people who visit never even come close to experiencing that version of it. I have spent years driving every highway, hiking every trail, eating at every hole-in-the-wall spot that locals whisper about, and I am going to give you everything in this video. We are covering the best places, the best food, the hidden spots, the things that will genuinely change how you travel, and the things that most tourists get completely wrong. This is the California guide I wish someone had given me before my first trip, so stay with me all the way through because I am saving the single most jaw-dropping, completely free, almost entirely unknown spot in California for the very end of this video. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button right now if you are new here. I put out travel guides, hidden gem content, and real honest breakdowns of destinations every single week. Now let us get into it. Let us start with Highway 1, because if there is one thing you absolutely must do in California, it is drive this road. Highway 1 is a 656-mile coastal route that runs along the edge of the Pacific, from Leggett in the north all the way down to Dana Point in the south. In the section between San Francisco and Los Angeles, specifically the stretch through Big Sur, is one of the most beautiful drives on Earth. I am not saying that loosely. I mean it has been called that by travel writers, photographers, and scientists who study landscape beauty for a living. There is nothing that compares to it. You are driving on the literal edge of North America. On your left, cliffs dropping hundreds of feet straight into the Pacific. On your right, mountains covered in pine and eucalyptus pushing right up to the road. And in between, this narrow ribbon of asphalt that twists and climbs and dips in a way that makes you feel like the road itself is alive. The first time I drove it, I was so distracted by what I was seeing that I had to pull over 3 times in the first hour just to make sure I was not going to drive off a cliff because I could not stop looking at the ocean. The non-negotiable stops on Highway 1 are these. Bixby Creek Bridge. You have seen this bridge in photographs even if you do not know the name. It is a single-span arch bridge from 1932 that stretches across a canyon above the ocean, and it looks like it was built by someone who wanted to make the most cinematic possible connection between 2 cliffs. Pull over on the north side and walk to the lookout. The view looking south down the coastline from that spot might be the single best photograph you take in California. McWay Falls is next, and it is genuinely one of the strangest and most beautiful things in the state. It is an 80-foot waterfall that falls directly onto a beach. Not near a beach, not close to a beach. Directly onto the sand of a cove that is completely inaccessible to the public. You can only look at it from the trail above. And there is something almost painful about it. This perfect pristine waterfall pouring onto this perfect pristine beach and you cannot get to it. You just have to stand there and watch it be beautiful without you, which somehow makes it more beautiful. Pfeiffer Beach is the stop that most people drive past because the turnoff is unmarked and the road is narrow and looks like it goes nowhere. But follow it, because Pfeiffer Beach has purple sand. Actual purple sand. The manganese garnet in the cliffs above the beach erodes into the sand and gives sections of it this deep, reddish-purple color that looks completely unreal in the afternoon light. There is also a massive rock arch at the end of the beach that frames the ocean perfectly. Go at sunset. Bring something to sit on. You will not want to leave. And Big Sur itself, the town, the community, the vibe, deserves time. Do not just drive through. Stop at Nepenthe Restaurant on the cliff above the ocean and order the Ambrosia Burger and sit on the terrace and watch the fog roll in off the Pacific. It is a 75-year-old institution, and the view from that terrace is one of the best restaurant views in the world. Deachin's Big Sur Inn right down the road has been operating since the 1930s and has cabins tucked into the redwoods with fireplaces and no TVs, and it forces you to actually be present in one of the most beautiful places you will ever visit. Now let us move north to San Francisco, and I want to immediately address the thing that ruins most people's San Francisco experience. They stay in the tourist bubble. Fisherman's Wharf, Pier 39, the souvenir shops, the clam chowder and bread bowls. None of that is bad exactly, but none of it is San Francisco. San Francisco is its neighborhoods. And each neighborhood is so distinct, so specific in its identity, that walking from one to the next feels like crossing a border into a different city. Start in the Mission District. This is the heartbeat of San Francisco. Walk down 24th Street from Valencia to Mission Street and look at the murals. Every wall is covered. These are not just decorations. They are a visual history of the Latino community that built this neighborhood and has fought to keep it through decades of gentrification pressure. There are murals here that have been painted and repainted and added to for 40 years. It is the most concentrated outdoor public art collection in Northern California, and almost no tour bus ever stops here. La Taqueria on Mission Street is mandatory. It has been called the best burrito in America by people who take burritos very seriously, and they are correct. Order the carnitas. No rice. A Mission burrito does not have rice. That is a myth perpetuated by chains. Just meat, beans, salsa, sour cream, and a handmade corn tortilla. The line moves fast. Eat it at the counter inside or take it across the street to Dolores Park and eat it on the hill with a view of the downtown skyline. That combination, that burrito, that park, that view, is one of the great simple pleasures available to human beings in this city. From the Mission, walk north into the Castro. San Francisco's Castro district is one of the most historically significant neighborhoods in American cultural history. This is where the modern LGBTQ rights movement built some of its most important infrastructure in the 1970s. Harvey Milk ran his camera shop here. The Names Project, which created the AIDS Memorial Quilt, started here. Walking these streets with any awareness of that history changes the way you see the rainbow crosswalks and the flags in the community spaces. It is not just a neighborhood. It is a monument that is still lived in. Go to By-Right Creamery on 18th Street and get the salted caramel ice cream. Then walk up to Corona Heights Park, most tourists have never heard of it, and climb the rocky outcrop at the top for the single best 360-degree view of San Francisco that exists. You can see the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate, the downtown skyline, and the neighborhoods rolling out below you like a quilt. On a clear day, it is breathtaking. And there is almost never a crowd because it is not on any major tourist map. Chinatown in San Francisco is the oldest in North America, established in 1848, and it is absolutely worth time if you go past the main drag on Grant Avenue. Duck into the alleys. Waverly Place has buildings with ornate painted balconies that look like they came directly from Hong Kong. The Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory on Ross Alley has been making fortune cookies by hand since 1956, and you can watch them fold them fresh for 50 cents a bag. The dim sum at City View Restaurant on Commercial Street on a weekend morning is some of the best in the country. Subscribe right now, because next week I am doing a full dedicated San Francisco neighborhood guide that goes 3 times deeper than anything I covered today. Every neighborhood, every hidden spot, every local restaurant that has no Instagram presence but has been feeding the same families for 40 years. You do not want to miss that one. Now we drive north across the Golden Gate Bridge into Marin County, and everything changes immediately. The Marin Headlands sit just on the other side of the bridge, and they give you the most dramatic view of the Golden Gate that exists. From above, from the side, looking back at the city. Most people drive across the bridge and keep going. Turn left. Drive up into the headlands, walk to Battery Spencer, stand there and look back at the city and the bridge and the bay, and understand that you are looking at one of the genuinely great urban landscapes in the world. Point Reyes National Seashore is 45 minutes north of San Francisco, and it is one of the most ecologically extraordinary places in California. It sits on its own tectonic plate, literally a different piece of the Earth's crust than the mainland, which is why the landscape looks so dramatically different from everything around it. There are herds of Thule elk roaming the ridgelines. There are sea lions and harbor seals on the beaches. There is a lighthouse at the tip of the point that has been warning ships away from the rocks since 1870, and the stairs down to it are steep enough that they post signs telling you how many steps there are so you can decide if your knees are up to it. And the oysters at Point Reyes, specifically from Hog Island Oyster Company in Marshall on the way there, are among the best oysters in the world. The cold, clean water of Tomales Bay produces an oyster that is briny and sweet and mineral all at once, and sitting at a picnic table on the dock shucking them yourself with a glass of local white wine while herons fly overhead is the kind of experience that becomes a benchmark for all future happiness. Now we head inland, because California is not just coastline, and one of the biggest mistakes people make is staying on the coast the whole time. Drive east from San Francisco through the Bay and up into the Sierra Nevada, and you hit one of the most astounding places in the world, Yosemite National Park. I want to talk about Yosemite carefully because it is one of those places that has been photographed and described so many times that people think they already know what it is going to feel like. They do not. No photograph has ever successfully communicated what it actually feels like to drive through the Wawona Tunnel and have Yosemite Valley open up in front of you for the first time. El Capitan on your left, Bridal Veil Fall on your right, Half Dome straight ahead in the distance. The valley floor spreading out below you, green and flat and impossibly peaceful. People stop their cars. People get out and stand on the side of the road and just stare. People cry. I am not exaggerating. I have seen it happen. El Capitan is a 3,000-foot vertical granite wall, the largest exposed granite monolith on Earth. Rock climbers come from every country in the world to attempt it. The first team to climb it took 47 days. Alex Honnold free-soloed it, no ropes, no protection, in 3 hours and 56 minutes in 2017, in what many people consider the greatest athletic achievement in human history. Standing at the base of El Capitan and craning your neck back to look at the top, and then looking back at the tiny moving dots of climbers on the wall, that gives you a physical understanding of scale that photographs simply cannot provide. The Yosemite Firefall is one of the most extraordinary natural phenomena in California, and it is completely unknown outside of photography circles. In late February, for approximately 2 weeks, if the conditions are right, meaning good snowpack above and a clear sunset, the Horsetail Fall on the eastern edge of El Capitan catches the setting sun at exactly the right angle and glows a deep, vivid orange, like fire pouring down the granite, like the mountain itself is on fire. It lasts about 10 minutes. Then the light shifts, and it is gone. And people who have been waiting for days in freezing February temperatures stand there in absolute silence and watch it happen, and then start cheering. For hiking in Yosemite, the Valley Loop Trail is the essential starting point. 7 miles, flat, takes you all the way around the valley floor with constantly changing views. Do it at dawn. The valley is quiet. The light is soft. Deer are grazing in the meadows. The sound of the waterfalls carries across the still air. It is the best possible way to understand what Yosemite is before you start going higher and harder. Half Dome is the iconic hike, 14 to 16 miles round trip, 4,800 feet of elevation gain, and the final 400 feet is a near vertical granite face that you climb using fixed steel cables. You need a permit. Get the permit. The view from the top of Half Dome looking back across the valley is one of the most earned and therefore most satisfying views you will ever experience. Your legs will not work properly for 2 days afterward, and you will not care at all. Drop a comment right now and tell me, have you been to Yosemite? And if you have, what was the moment that got you? Because everybody has a moment. Subscribe while you are down there. We are going to Sequoia next in this video, and it is going to blow your mind. From Yosemite drive south into Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. And I need to prepare you for something. You think you know what a big tree is. You do not. The giant sequoias in this park are the largest living things by volume that have ever existed on Earth. The General Sherman tree is 274 feet tall, 36 feet in diameter at the base, and is estimated to be between 2,300 and 2,700 years old. It was a mature tree when the Roman Empire was at its height. It has been alive for longer than the religion you practice, probably longer than the language you speak, definitely longer than the country you live in. Standing next to it, and I mean standing at the actual base and looking up, produces a kind of vertigo that has nothing to do with height. It is a vertigo of time. Walk the Congress Trail through the giant forest. It is 2 miles through the densest concentration of giant sequoias in the world. The light comes through the canopy in shafts. The forest floor is soft with centuries of fallen needles. It is one of the quietest places I have ever been. Not silent, the wind moves through the trees and the birds are constant, but quiet in a way that feels intentional. It, like the forest itself, is asking you to slow down. Now let us go south. Los Angeles. And I know, everybody has a take on LA. People either love it completely or they are absolutely certain they hate it. Usually based on 3 days in Hollywood and 1 bad experience on the 405 freeway. Let me give you a different version of this city. The food in Los Angeles is the best in the United States. I will die on that hill. The diversity of the city, genuinely one of the most ethnically diverse major cities on Earth, means that the food represents communities from every corner of the world, cooking the food of their home at the highest possible level. You can eat your way around the planet in Los Angeles without ever leaving a 10-mile radius. Koreatown. Go to Koreatown. It is the largest Koreatown outside of Korea, and it does not care about tourists, and that is exactly why it is so good. Park's Barbecue on Vermont is the benchmark for Korean barbecue in America. You grill the meat yourself at the table, the banchan comes out in waves, the soju flows freely, and the galbi and the bulgogi are so good they have ruined Korean barbecue elsewhere for me permanently. Go late. The energy after 9 p.m. in Koreatown is unlike anything else in the city. Sushi in Los Angeles is world-class in a way that surprises people. The Japanese-American community in LA has been perfecting its relationship with fish from the Pacific for 100 years, and the result is some of the best sushi outside of Japan, and some would argue the best in the world for certain preparations. Sugarfish is accessible and excellent, but if you want to go deeper, Nozawa Bar in Beverly Hills does an omakase that is one of the greatest meals available in this country. The taco trucks and taquerias of East Los Angeles and Boyle Heights are a complete education. These are not Tex-Mex. These are not chain Mexican food. These are the specific regional cuisines of Oaxaca and Jalisco and Guerrero and Michoacan, cooked by people from those regions, for communities from those regions. Mariscos Jalisco on Olympic Boulevard has a fried shrimp taco that people drive across the city for. Mexicali Taco & Co. downtown does a Cosa Nostra taco, braised pork belly with salsa verde, that is one of the 10 best things I have ever eaten. Grand Central Market downtown has been feeding Los Angeles since 1917. It is a covered market hall with vendors selling everything from Taiwanese breakfast to Ethiopian injera to pastrami sandwiches to fresh pressed juice. Egg Slut started here, Sticky Rice is here, McConnell's Ice Cream from Santa Barbara has a counter here. Go hungry, go with time. Walk every aisle before you decide what to eat, and then eat 3 things. Venice Beach is mandatory, but do it right. Go on a Sunday morning when the drum circle sets up at the south end of the boardwalk, and the skaters are at the skate park, and the bodybuilders are at Muscle Beach, and the street performers are setting up, and the whole beautiful, chaotic community of this beach is assembling for the day. Then walk north up the boardwalk to the canals, the actual canals that gave Venice its name, and spend an hour walking the bridges and looking at the absurdly beautiful homes that line the waterways. It is peaceful and completely surprising, and most visitors never find it. Subscribe right now. I am doing a full Los Angeles food guide that goes neighborhood by neighborhood, and I guarantee it will change where you eat on your next trip. That video is coming very soon, and you need to be subscribed to catch it. From Los Angeles Drive 2 hours east into the desert, and you arrive at Joshua Tree National Park. And Joshua Tree is the California experience that most surprises people because they are not expecting it to be beautiful. They are expecting desert, flat, brown, hot, empty. What they find is one of the most dramatic and alien landscapes in North America. Joshua Tree sits on the intersection of 2 deserts, the high Mojave in the west and the lower Colorado in the east, and the transition between them is visible and strange. The west side of the park is covered with Joshua trees, those twisted prehistoric-looking things that are not actually trees at all, but a species of yucca that can live for 500 years. They grow in formations that look choreographed, arms reaching in every direction, silhouettes that look completely different depending on the light. At sunrise, they glow gold. At sunset, they go dark and skeletal against the orange sky. At night, they look like they are waving at the stars. The boulder formations in Joshua Tree are what make rock climbers come from everywhere. Massive, rounded granite formations that have been shaped by millions of years of erosion into shapes that look designed, stacked, balanced, leaning against each other in ways that should not be physically possible. Skull Rock on the main park road is the most famous, and it genuinely looks like a giant skull emerging from the desert floor. The nature trail around it is short and easy, and gives you a sense of the boulder landscape without committing to a serious hike. The night sky at Joshua Tree is the reason to stay overnight. The park is a designated International Dark Sky Park, which means light pollution is actively managed, and the result on a clear moonless night is one of the most staggering things available to human eyes. The Milky Way is not a suggestion. It is a solid band of light across the sky. You can see it clearly enough to notice the dark lanes within it, the dust clouds, the density changing from one end to the other. Lying on your back on the desert floor at Joshua Tree at midnight looking at that sky is a genuine perspective-shifting experience. You understand in your body, not just your mind, how small and how brief everything is, and somehow that is comforting. Now the food and wine moment that California does better than anywhere, Napa Valley and Sonoma County. Napa Valley has over 400 wineries in a valley that is only about 30 miles long and 5 miles wide. The concentration of world-class wine production in that small area is extraordinary. Cabernet Sauvignon from the Napa Valley, particularly from the Rutherford and Oakville appellations, competes with and often beats the great Bordeaux wines of France in blind tastings. Stag's Leap Wine Cellars won the 1976 Paris wine tasting, the famous Judgment of Paris, beating the top French wines and changing the global perception of American wine permanently. But Sonoma County next door is where I personally spend most of my wine country time. It is larger and more varied than Napa. It runs all the way to the coast. The Russian River Valley produces Pinot Noirs that are some of the greatest in the world. The Dry Creek Valley makes Zinfandels that are unlike anything produced anywhere else. And because Sonoma does not have the celebrity status of Napa, the wineries are more accessible, less crowded, and often more willing to pour you interesting things and talk to you about them. Gary Farrell Winery on the West Side Road in Healdsburg sits on a ridge above the Russian River Valley, and the view from their tasting terrace, looking out over the vineyards dropping down to the river below, the coastal hills in the distance, is the platonic ideal of what wine country should look like. Ridge Vineyards in Sonoma makes some of the most complex and age-worthy wines in California, from Old Vine Zinfandel. Literai in Sebastopol is doing things with Pinot Noir that rival the greatest producers in Burgundy. And Healdsburg as a town is the best base for wine country exploration. Small, walkable, with a central plaza surrounded by genuinely excellent restaurants. Single Thread has 3 Michelin stars and does an 11-course Kaiseki-influenced tasting menu that is one of the most extraordinary dining experiences in the country. Valette on the Plaza is more accessible and cooks with the same obsession with local and seasonal ingredients that defines the best of Northern California cuisine. The farm-to-table food movement did not start in California accidentally. The land here produces extraordinary ingredients year-round in a way that most of the country cannot. Alice Waters at Chez Panisse in Berkeley has been cooking with farmers directly since 1971, and the philosophy she developed there, cook what is local, what is seasonal, what is grown with care, became the foundation of how the best American restaurants think about food. You can still eat at Chez Panisse. You can still taste that original philosophy being executed by a kitchen that has been doing it longer than most chefs have been alive. Now, I promised you the most underrated, most unknown, most jaw-dropping, completely free spot in all of California. Here it is, Mono Lake. Mono Lake sits on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada, about an hour south of the Nevada border, just off Highway 395. It is one of the oldest lakes in North America. Geologists estimate it has been here for at least 1 million years, possibly 3 million. It has no outlet. Water flows in from streams fed by the Sierra snowpack and then evaporates, leaving behind a lake that is 3 times saltier than the ocean and highly alkaline. And out of that alkaline water rise the tufa towers. These are formations of calcium carbonate, essentially limestone, that form underwater when calcium-rich freshwater springs bubble up through the alkaline lake water, and the two react to form solid towers. They have been growing for thousands of years. The ones at the south shore of Mono Lake stand up to 15 feet tall, clustered in formations that look like something between a coral reef and the ruins of an ancient civilization. They look like they were placed there deliberately. They look like nothing else in the world. The water around them at dawn is often completely still, and the reflection of the tufa towers in the silver surface of the lake, with the Sierra Nevada rising up behind it, and the sky going through every color it knows, that is the image. That is the one. That is the photograph that does not look real when you show it to people. That is the experience that California keeps hidden in plain sight 2.5 hours from Los Angeles and 3 hours from San Francisco, and almost nobody goes there because there is no Instagram account with 1 million followers pointing at it. It costs nothing to visit. Park at the South Tufa area. Walk the 1-mile trail through the towers. Wade into the edges of the lake if you want. The buoyancy from the salinity is remarkable. You bob like a cork. Watch the California gulls that nest here in the hundreds of thousands, and understand that you are standing in a place that has existed for longer than the human species has existed in its current form, and that will exist long after everything we have built has returned to the ground. California is not a destination. It is a world. You could spend a month here and still feel like you had only touched the surface. The redwood forests of the north that contain trees 300 feet tall and 2,000 years old. The wine caves of Paso Robles in the Central Coast, where small family producers are making extraordinary things in complete obscurity. The Channel Islands off the coast of Ventura. 5 islands that have been separated from the mainland long enough to develop their own endemic species, their own ecosystems, their own silence. The Eastern Sierra, drive down Highway 395 past volcanic tablelands and ghost towns and hot springs that steam in the cold desert air. Death Valley, the lowest point in North America, where the salt flats stretch to the horizon like a frozen white sea, and the colors of the canyon walls at sunset go through every shade of orange and red and purple that exists. This state will keep giving you things to discover for as long as you are willing to go looking for them. And the best version of California, the one that actually changes you, is not in any resort brochure or influencer itinerary. It is down the unmarked road, at the restaurant with no website, on the trail that starts in a parking lot with 3 other cars in it. Subscribe right now. Share it with the person you want to take to California. And leave a comment telling me which part of this guide you are going to do first, because I want to know, and I want to send you there with everything you need. More California content, more hidden spots, more real food guides, all of it is coming, and I will see you in the next one.